I'm Jordan Rayner, and this is the Word Before Work. Today we're reading from Luke 5, 15, and 16. Here's what it says. Yet the news about him, Jesus, spread all the more so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Now more than ever, we are living in what C.S. Lewis's devil Screwtape called the kingdom of noise. And I'm not just referring to the obvious increase in external noise created by nonstop news, entertainment, and the buzzing of the devices in our pockets and purses. I'm primarily referring to what all of that external noise creates, namely this internal noise that blocks our ability to be silent and reflective. Our lack of solitude today stands in stark contrast to the way of Jesus. The number of times the Gospels mention Jesus withdrawing to a solitary place is staggering. In the third Gospel alone, Luke mentions Jesus' love of lonely places 3 times in just 1.5 chapters. See Luke 4:42, 5:15, and 6:12. My favorite mention of Jesus' pursuit of solitude is in Matthew 14:13, when he, quote, withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place, end quote, to get away from the crowds. So important was silence to Jesus that he would literally just jump into a boat to get away from the noise, to pray, to think, and to listen to his Father's voice. And oh, by the way, the busier Jesus got, the more it appears he sought out silence. Again, Luke 5:15 and 16 says that as the news about him spread all the more, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Jesus' example leads us to the third principle we need to redeem our time and be purposeful, present, and wildly productive. Here it is. Principle number 3, dissent from the kingdom of noise. To redeem our time in the model of our Redeemer, we must fight to block out noise and create room for silence, for stillness, and for reflection. If we want to do our most exceptional work for the glory of God and the good of others, and that's why you're listening to this podcast, right? We, like Jesus, have got to fight for quiet solitude. The solitude we need to think and be creative and listen to God's voice. How can we do that today? How practically can we dissent from the kingdom of noise? I'm so glad you asked. In my book, Redeeming Your Time, I share 9 practical answers to that question. But I made a video sharing one of the most life-changing of those practices that you can watch right now. The video is called Let Your Friends Curate the News for You. You can watch that video by clicking the link in the show notes of this episode. Today's devotional only scratches the surface of how God's word connects to our work. If you want to go deeper, sign up for my free 20-day devotional called The Word Before Work Foundations at twbwfoundations.com. These email devotionals are designed to help you gain a rich understanding of the biblical narrative of work, how exactly your work matters for eternity, and what those truths mean for how we ought to work today. Sign up right now, again, totally free at twbwfoundations.com.